Hi, I'm Adam Lewis with the Deer IQ podcast, and in this video, we'll look at the science behind if cellular trail cameras actually spook big bucks. There's been some discussion lately about if cell cameras spook big old mature bucks. The claim is they somehow do, and that regular cameras under the same conditions do not. Yeah, big bucks over a certain age are somewhat of a different animal, being hyper wary of anything slightly off in their environment. But is the radio signal transmitted from the cellular camera somehow able to be sensed by these bucks, causing them to then totally avoid these areas? Despite some speculation from some well-known hunting personalities, the science is pretty solid and clear on this one. And as a science teacher with 22 years in that field, this one boils down to some pretty basic stuff. You see, the data transmitted by a cellular camera is in the megahertz range, or millions of hertz in frequency. For a whitetail to detect this, they would need an organ that can detect this frequency range, much like a radio receiver does. The biology of whitetail is very well known, and deer have 5 main senses, just like us humans. Although the acuity of these senses are somewhat different compared to ours, they work and detect the same things: sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. So can one of these sensory organs in deer pick up the waves emitted by a trail camera? From well-known deer biology, the answer is a firm no. The only senses a deer can use to observe waves of any form are hearing and vision, and neither one of those are even close to being able to detect in the megahertz range emitted from a cell camera. Hearing of whitetail is seen in this audiogram and goes to a maximum of 64,000 hertz, woefully short of mega or millions of hertz. So deer in no way can hear a cell signal. When looking at the well-tested vision of deer, it is proven that deer see from visible orange light to ultraviolet light wavelength, and this range is far above the megahertz frequency range emitted by a cell camera, and is actually in the terahertz range, 6 orders of magnitude higher or 1 million times greater. There's just no physical way that any deer, big old buck or not, can detect radio signals transmitted from cellular trail cameras. I recently talked to Dr. Clint McCoy about this topic, and he is a North American Whitetail Magazine contributor and a veterinarian who has a PhD and knows animals, including deer, better than most. And he said this idea is total BS. So when a claim like this is made that sounds feasible, it's easy to jump on that bandwagon, but a little critical thought easily helps us avoid that mistake. For a claim such as this to be scientific, all you need is a test for its wrongness. Can you prove the stated claim wrong? If you cannot do this, it is just not anything scientific or provable, and is similar to saying there's alien life out there somewhere or that Bigfoot exists, we just can't seem to see him. So if someone is claiming, well, some deer can detect cell cameras, but some can't, they're claiming something unprovable, unscientific, and completely invalid. But there could easily be an objective scientific test done that eliminates every variable other than the radio signal to see if big bucks avoid it, which should be done by an actual scientist. However, even still, it's pretty easy to show that mature bucks don't avoid cell cameras by simply showing a mature buck appearing on one more than once, and the internet is full of them. Here's one I shot last year that showed up multiple times on my cell camera on public land in Michigan, and that is before I shot him. So if you feel bucks are avoiding your cell camera, what's a more plausible and scientifically valid explanation? Common sense points to the actual reason a deer may seem to avoid an area where a trail camera is placed, and it usually has to do with one thing: user error. Yes, we all make mistakes, and a big old buck is less likely to tolerate these mistakes or errors in placing our trail cameras than younger deer. These would be hanging them where they are visible, leaving scent in the area or on the camera, or potentially having a particular camera that makes noises when it takes a picture or a video. Smell, vision, hearing, these are all known senses of whitetail, and the obvious answer when it comes to deer avoiding our trail cameras: cellular or not. If you like this video and would like to see more high IQ, factually based deer hunting content, like, subscribe, and share this channel with a buddy, and find the Deer IQ podcast wherever you listen.